Hey folks, and welcome to something a little different. Today, I thought I would try out playing some Hearthstone solo adventures. I've been playing a lot of Slay the Spire in my own time lately, and since I have it on... Hush, Elise. I'm trying to talk here. I've been playing a lot of Slay the Spire because I just love a good deck building roguelike, and right now I have that on Switch, which isn't conducive to recording, but you know what is conducive to recording is Hearthstone on my laptop. So we're going to try a little bit of single-player gameplay with commentary here, see how it goes over. So, Kobolds and Catacombs, Witchwood, Rastakhan's Rumble, Dalaran, Heist, Tombs of Terror are the real roguelike chapters I'm particularly interested in, and I think I'd like to try Dalaran Heist. Actually, we're going to play on Heroic, which is a little more difficult. And actually just started a run, but I'm going to go ahead and just surrender this one so that we can start a fresh one together, YouTube. As soon as it'll load and start the game. Come on, I'd like to surrender quickly. And no, of course I couldn't have prepared this before the video. What do you think I am, a professional who cares about the quality of my work? No, please. Yeah, this looks unwinnable. Let's give up. Try again. Can't handle that. Oh my. My headphone cord just reached down and tickled my ankle and felt like a giant spider. Yes, you've done a great job, Moon Priestess. Alright. So, we're gonna play something. You know what? Let's turn off Anomaly Mode. Let's just play a nice, normal, heroic run. So, we got anywhere 1 through 5. I think, you know, this is the first time I'm doing a video of this. Let's just do a video of the Dalaran Bank. Take it real simple. And so we get to pick our class here. We can do anything here. I'm going to do something fun. I'm just going to go to a quick dice roller and roll a 9-sided virtual die. Because why not? So that'll tell me. Let's see, we've gotten a 9. So we're going to be playing a paladin. So the cool thing about this is we get to choose our hero power that we can use every turn. If you've never played Hearthstone before, buckle up. This is a little different than normal Hearthstone, but you'll make it. And we've won with this hero power before. Let's try something different. I think I'd like to try... I think this one is probably the best, but this one looks kind of fun, and that's what I'd like to do. So we're going to do this hero power. We get to choose a starting deck. This has these cards, these cards, these cards, and then this is random. Since I picked something that lets me add cards to my hand, anything that lets me buff cards in my hand could be fun. So this has a Grime Street Enforcer that at the end of my turn gives all minions in my hand +1/+1. This one buffs dragons in my hand. This one doesn't look like it does that, and hand buff paladin is something that's never been super viable for playing against other people, but against the computer it can be pretty useful. So here's our opponent. Let's not worry about it too much. Let's just get into the match. Once those henchmen have been berated, done bad things. I guess I should explain a little bit about this solo adventure. The story is that we are various people helping professional nasty man Ratham raid the Dalaran Bank. These are all, you know, medium quality cards, but since our deck is so small, only 10 cards, we've got a very good chance to get a 1-cost card that we can play right away. And we did, so it's worth throwing away a card that would be nice to play on turn 2 to get a card to play on turn 1. Alright, so these are the cards in our hand. One of them is playable right now. We're going to go ahead summon 2 1/1 minions. So this opponent, every turn, they're going to use their hero power that trades cards in our hand. The other gimmick going on, great with your apprentice, Alchemist Wendy, that's great. And there's every battle for this whole run, one of these is going to appear on the field. Whenever we kill it, or whenever it dies, both players get 2 coins. So, we don't have any cards we can play, but we can use our hero power. I have fought this boss, and I know she has a lot of healing. So, I'm not going to worry about trying to hit her face, even though it's only 10 health. I'm just going to try and control the cards on the board.
I'll take this, and you take that.
And get to swap some cards in our hand. Wow. Divine Shield, that's so useful. Okay, I think we just want to... I think we just want to play 3 minions. And we will go ahead and do a little bit of damage. This is 2 mana for a 1/3, and I think I'd rather have 2 1/1s right now. Alright, she has stolen my card, but it's not doing much for her. I think we'd definitely like to freeze this. And if we play this, we'll deal 6 damage this turn. Oops. Come on. Hit the face. There we go. And next turn she'll either play a card that heals for a lot or die. That's another option, I suppose, to block. And she took the card that is best for dealing with that. So we are not going to be able to quickly take her out this turn. So let's... how nettlesome. But we have 3 taunt minions, so we're also at pretty low risk of having our face smacked here. I think I'd like to put this out, even though she's going to take one of my cards. I'd still prefer to do it, and what I'm going to do as well is I don't think she's going to be able to kill me next turn, so what I can do is I can fill my hand with buffed minions, and I can just start flooding the board, protecting my face, and she should be completely unable to deal with that. She's out of cards. Even if she takes a 1 mana 2/2, it's just not going to be able to keep up with the incredible value we are able to provide. As long as we don't die this turn. Okay. Let's see, add a random potion to our hand, deal 2 damage to all minions. Okay, that'll heal her for a bit, but now we are no longer in danger on the board, and we're able to just put out a couple of 2/2s, and that should be pretty much the end of the fight. Mage Secret. That was created by the Alchemist, so there's no way to know what it is. However, we are in pretty good shape. Let's see. Could be this. Let's add a random potion to our hand. Okay, so when we play a minion, it turns into a sheep. I can handle that. Now that we know the secret is out of the way, we're just going to play everything out. Hit the face. Prevent our face from being hit. Looking out for the healing potion here, hasn't been played. It's a 4 mana, heal 12 to friendly character. Alright, she's not playing it, she's playing the Deranged Doctor. We can wrap this up here. The first fight is generally pretty easy, but, you know, you want to play it properly. And that is 1 round done. 7 to go. And now, what makes this interesting is we get to choose. We get to choose what we want to do for the next fight. So, Crystal Gem. Start with an extra mana crystal. We have the Crystal Gem. This is definitely the best choice. These two are more niche picks. I don't think Elixir of Vim works for us. Recycling could be fun with our hero power, give us a lot of defense. So for 5, if we spent 2 mana to use our hero power and then 3 mana to play the 3 1/1s, it would be 5 mana, play 3 1/1s, gain 6 armor. That's not bad, but I think Crystal Gem is just going to be the thing that gets us to what we want to do fastest, so, you know, it's the first one of these. Maybe we'll do more. We're going to take something just kind of relaxed. Okay, now we pick 3 cards to add to our deck. Shirvala the Tiger costs 25 mana. Its cost reduces every time you spend mana on spells. Considering we currently have 3, 5, 6, 7 mana of spells, if we take this package, we get this all the way down to an 18 cost card. In other words, we cannot afford to put that in our deck right now. If we get a bunch of spells, maybe we can get it later, but it doesn't even come with spells, just good weapons. Very good weapons, but we're not doing it. Dragons, these are just pretty good cards. These are cheaper cards that let us put a bunch of secrets up. They aren't great secrets. I think I'd just like to pick the dragons, although Hydrologist is quite good. But this isn't very good. This is okay. You know what? I've talked myself back into it. I'm going to take the secret package because right now we're pretty early in the run, and this will help us, you know, low-cost cards will help us win the upcoming fights, which are usually shorter fights. This guy, he heals himself every time he casts a spell, and he has a lot of spells that he can cast pretty regularly. I want Mad Scientist in play to get rid of Avenge. Keep in mind we're starting with 2 mana, so don't want that 1 mana card. This could be a okay 3 mana card. We'll go ahead and hold on to it, because that way we've got something good to play on turn 2 for us. And we've got our Grime Street Enforcer, so if we are able to fill our hand with minions and get that out without suffering too much, we'll be in good shape. Alright, we have played our card, we have ended our turn. The Cache of Coins is out there as usual. He's playing a pretty standard card for him, which is just a spell. Any spell, basically. So, it's almost impossible to destroy this guy unless you can take him out quickly. So, if you can deal 15 damage at once, that's awesome, but otherwise, it's just unlikely. So we're going to go ahead and get the Cache of Coins low on health. We spent 3 mana to draw this card and give it +2/+2. That's going to put... We didn't bother attacking his face because he would have healed up to full health anyway. We didn't play a minion because he has... I know this character has a lot of cards that get rid of our minions. So we're going to put out a 4/4. Redemption I like because we could potentially play that with our Grime Street Enforcer in future. So it would just let us bring our Grime Street Enforcer back to life, a thing I quite like to do. And okay, I suspect if we play the Grime Street Enforcer, he's going to play cards that kill all our minions. I also suspect that I can be just fine with this. And let's see. Like I said, dealing 4 damage to his face doesn't matter at all, so I'm just going to take out 1 minion. I had a feeling he's going to play Warpaths. So as Echo, so you can play it twice, deals 2 damage to all minions. It didn't really matter what we did that turn. We're going to burn the top card of our deck. He's going to kill our Enforcer, but we got it to proc on 6 minions, which is pretty good. Shame we weren't able to play Redemption, and you know, if I'd thought a little more in advance, I could have mayhap done something a little more aggressive there to kill the Cache Coins, get the coins, use that to play Redemption, but I'm really not worried about us losing this fight. Okay, he's going to take a bunch of damage to his face, and he's probably going to die, because he spent all his mana on that, and he's not going to heal, and that's it. Play our weapon, hit him in the face, that's a fight. So if we had played this fight differently, if we just played all our minions out on the field and had an empty hand and tried to hit him in the face and then he just cleared everything for free, we would have been in trouble. Okay, time to look at what we get. Sunkeeper Tarm is a really good card. The Lich King is a really, really good card. Shirvala is a completely unplayable card, and I'm still not sure whether I'm willing to add a useless card into my deck in exchange for 2 other really good cards. These cards are less good, but they're all interesting. And this does let us continue to buff things in our hand. This is more cheap secret-based cards, but especially since we're starting with extra mana, we don't want any more cheap cards right now. We're trying to get something good. So these 2 cards are so good, it might really be worth taking Shirvala, but I'll admit I have a bias towards hand buffing, and Emperor Thaurissan is really good with Grime Street Enforcer, our hero power, other stuff like that. So it's going to let us specialize a little bit. I'm not sure if this is the correct decision. I think the other one might be a better choice, but this is if we just wanted to play good cards. But this is more fun, and it helps take our deck in a specific direction, so that we can start to kind of plan around. You know, this is the one thing we know our deck does pretty well. Sip of water time. Okay. This is a pretty good 2 mana, discover a 1 mana. We could even just go 2, 3, 4 like that. This guy, I think that's good. The enemy we're facing right now has Sutu Stonewind. He gives a friendly minion Mega Wind Fury, which means it can attack 4 times per turn. In other words, if we let him get a 3 attack minion out this turn, and we don't kill it, next turn it can deal 12 damage to our face. If he gets a 3 attack minion, and then he can buff its attack by 4, then all of a sudden 7 damage 4 times just instantly destroys our entire just way of life. So, I really want to prioritize just anything that helps us keep control of the board at all costs. Do I want to buff another minion, or do I want to destroy his minions? I think I want to destroy his minions. Oops. Just to keep things completely under control. I'm going to go ahead and trade this. He has cards that can make other cards stronger. If you're wondering... Okay, he has completely wasted 2 mana, giving that Mega Wind Fury. It has 0 attack and can't do any damage, so that's pretty good for us. Okay, Taunt is good. This is also good. Now that we have Taunt, we can afford to attack his face, because it's going to be a lot harder for him to destroy us. And he's got to get through these minions. Also, we would love for him to play 4 minions at once if possible. However, that's not going to be super feasible right now. I don't think we really need to play this card. It might be arrogant to say that, but I think we have enough control of the board right now. Awesome, we've drawn our Immortal Prelate. We have made it a 3/5. We could hero power to fill our hand with stuff, or we could just get that out on the board. I'm not so greedy that I'm willing to forego getting that on the board, so we'll play that. If you're wondering how I know so much about what these bosses can do, what cards they have, it's because I really enjoy playing Hearthstone Solo Adventures, and I've just played this a lot of times. Okay, Call to Adventure is actually something we want to keep in our hand as long as we have this Immortal Prelate, because we're going to be able to use it on the Immortal Prelate itself. Okay, we're in pretty good control. Let's go ahead and get some minions out here, give them all Taunt, take out his minion without sacrificing our own. So if he has something that does like 3 damage to everything on the board, that's going to hurt pretty bad. But if he doesn't, we can kill him next turn. Also, if he kills our Immortal Prelate, Call to Adventure is going to get it back to us as a 5/7. But we have played cautiously, perhaps more than we needed to. Crystal Gem letting us start with an extra mana crystal just lets us completely overwhelm him and take him out. Yeah, I really enjoy this sort of thing, and Slay the Spire has definitely made it a lot better. Okay, now we get to choose a treasure. So I get to pick a card that I think is very good. They're all very good. So this lets me make one minion incredibly powerful. It can heal me, it can kill enemy minions, it can hide, it can block, it can hit face, it can do everything. So if we think we're going to have like one big minion, or we'll need to get rid of one big minion, it's great. This is really nice because it just kills a bunch of stuff on the enemy's board and maybe kills them. And this just fills our entire board, plays 7 just really hard to deal with cards. So if we're thinking we're a pretty aggressive deck, this would really help us deal the finishing blow pretty early. Noah Sharmy Knife is very good, but I think I actually want to take a Noyo Horn, because I think this deck is really strong, but it's slow. Because we're starting to build a deck that kind of buffs our own hand. We have multiple cards that make cards in our hand stronger, and the thing about that is they're incredibly powerful, but they take a really long time to be useful. So when we play this card, it helps us survive a long time. None of these cards, these summon a bunch of little minions, but that's not actually what we're trying to do. We're trying to buff things in our hand, and we don't need to add 3 silver recruits to our hand with a 1/1 when we can do it with our hero power anytime we want. This would let us summon a bunch of mechs and then resummon them. I don't think we want to do that. This lets us survive, heal. Ziliax is one of the best cards ever in Hearthstone, and this is not as great, but it's still nice. So we're setting up a deck that just has a lot of taunt and a lot of ability to protect itself. Now we're going to go talk to Bartender Bob, and he's going to help us adjust our deck for something fun. Oh, that's neat. You can see the time in the bottom left here, so you can understand just how late I'm staying up. I would like to clarify that my laptop is actually not set in the time zone I'm currently in, so I'm not staying up quite as late as it seems, but also don't judge me. You know how it is, Bob. You just get caught up and stuff. Okay. So, we have cards we can play to adjust our menu. So this, we get to pick one of those, take it for ourselves. We could get rid of one of our own minions. We could get new minions. We could make one of our spells cheaper. We could add 3 new copies. Hush, George. You'll be okay. We could add 3 copies of one of ours to a deck. So, our spells aren't that good. These minions are very good. I mean, this sucks. This sucks, but these 2 are both very good. Siamat is incredible, and Bronze Explorer is not bad itself. So, the first thing we're going to do is choose a friendly minion, add 3 new copies of it to our deck. Grime Street Enforcer could be really good, but it's really hard to do anything but choose Ziliax here, because it is just such a good card.
Are those adventurers even here?
You know what? I'm going to compromise. I'm going to make the logical choice for one and make the fun choice for another. I really like hand buffing, so I'm going to do this even though Ziliax is probably better. Ziliax just lets us do a little of everything. Grime Street Enforcer lets us do one thing really well. We're going to add, since we added an expensive card that costs 5 to our deck, we could get a really good 7 cost. But our deck could also use a nice 3 cost, something good at the lower end of the scale. Oh, it's so tough. Siamat is just too good to turn down. I think it is the best choice. Because Siamat, 7 mana 6/6 doesn't seem that good, but you get to choose keywords that are really good. I'm going to choose new minions, and then I'm going to remove the worst friendly minion from our deck. So Ziliax is good, that's pretty good, that's pretty good. So we could remove Defender of Argus. Does our deck get better if we remove Defender of Argus from it? Or if we remove a Myrtle Prelate from it? I think the answer is our deck gets better if we remove Defender of Argus from it.
Get him out of here.
And
Put it on your tab.
even though Defender of Argus has been a helpful card for us, we're going to send it on its way because our goal is to fill our card with decks that help us a lot. So if we can get rid of cards that only help us a little, you know, we improve the average card we draw. Because if it's a 5 out of 10 and everything else is more in the 7-8 range, you know, it ups our average. It's just how.
The elements can be
You know
harnessed
math.
in many ways.
I don't really want any
I
of these.
choose the mighty totem.
Lost in the Jungle would be interesting if we had 1 mana, but it's kind of awkward as a turn 1 play, and I don't really want to play these two together. I'm going to keep Lost in the Jungle just because it helps us get on the board early. This is another opponent, Decidra Stormglory. I've never said her name out loud, but she's going to summon a bunch of totems. And so she's also just going to flood the board with small things. In the same way I said the last one might do. So we could spend 1 mana to summon these, or 2 mana to fill our hand with stuff. If we summon these, we have stuff we can play next turn. I think I feel safe enough to just take a more value-oriented play. So tempo would just be playing whatever makes us the strongest right now, and value would be whatever gets us the best possible use out of our cards. So, we're going to, let's see. We could summon 2 things and equip a weapon, or we could just summon 4 things. I think we'll summon 2 things, equip a weapon. I don't think we're actually going to attack with the weapon right now. No, I think we're likely to want to take that out at some point. And I'm okay spending a weapon charge to get it started.
Which one did I want again?
Yep, that's the other thing. She can make her other cards more powerful based on the number of totems she has. Halves. You know how sometimes you halves totems is? Okay, this is going to summon Murlocs every turn. We have to kill it. So this is probably the most dangerous part of this game, is when she starts initially flooding the board with stuff. So we're going to use Dark Conviction to make this minion stronger. It's going to take this out. And we are going to summon 3 small things. Are we going to attack this with our weapon charge? Take it out? And I think the answer is no. Are we going to take this out? I think we'd rather take it out with a 1/1, and the healing is not a problem. Because as long as we have this weapon sitting here, we can do that. Okay, that's unfortunate, so all our 1/1s get taken out, and the board gets wide, but good luck. Twice in a row, she summoned healing totems that do nothing for her right now, and do nothing really to hurt us, so that's awesome. Okay, Celiax is a good card, and I have a lot of reason to play it, but I think I can afford to play Grime Street Enforcer right now. So it's going to buff 5 things, and it's possible that she can kill it this turn, but right now her board doesn't kill it, and I'm actually going to make a super greedy play here. I could use that to play another minion for board control, but I just want to make sure Grime Street Enforcer buffs as many things as possible, because, ooh, another totem that deals damage to us but does not directly attack. And that is a danger. We need to kill that immediately. Can I not count? Did they? Oh yeah, they didn't kill it. Okay. So this is excellent. So now, let's think about what we want to do. We need to kill this, or kill all the totems, because whenever she summons a totem, all her existing totems are going to get stronger. I think if we can keep this alive 1 more turn, it just continues to provide a lot of value for us. So I'm going to play the Ziliax, and I'm going to play one of these. This is going to heal us, and we're going to get our Grime Street Enforcer to go off 1 more time. Our board is stronger than hers. Her hero power is better than ours, but we've got a handful of cheap, decent stuff. Okay, she's playing out her cards, getting a really strong board full of totems. The thing about having a hero power that can summon totems is any card that relies on totems gets very strong. But our Grime Street Enforcer is alive for another turn. I'd like to kill... We could use this to summon a big minion to protect us, but I'm going to make a more aggressive play. I'm going to take that out. I am going to Wow, these are up to 5. This one's up to 5/5. That's pretty good. I could be greedy and try and play for the maximum value, but I think it's time to start taking advantage of all this power Grime Street Enforcer has generated for us. And do we want to go face or clear this stuff? I think... We cannot protect Grime Street Enforcer next turn. So I think what it makes...
You ever tripped over a totem? Horribly embarrassing.
That sounds terrible. I think I'd like to clear this Murloc and just hit the face. I don't want to sacrifice the Grime Street Enforcer, so I'll hit with that, and Ziliax is just a good card. Okay. 4 mana 7/7. That's pretty good, but it doesn't compete with our 1 mana 5/5 there. Alright, so we no longer have our Grime Street Enforcer, but we've gotten a good amount of value from it. Now, I don't think we're ready to start pushing for the kill yet, because her board's scary, but I think we're ready to start.
Are those adventurers even here?
First get control of the board, and then we'll be in business to start pushing for the face. So, whatever our strongest stuff is, we are just going to play it. That's 5/8. It's a 6/6. This kills that. If we kill this, it's a lot harder to clear this. And we'll push a little damage to face. And we will draw our Mortal Prelate. I think we'd put out another 4/4. No, I'm actually not going to. Because right now, if she just plays minions, our board is still strong enough to really start getting some kills out there. But if she has a spell that clears our whole board, then we've kind of wasted our time by playing another small minion onto it. Okay. Do we have lethal this turn? 11, 14, 17. Yes. Good fight. So, you see why I like Grime Street Enforcer? It's not that it's necessarily the best card in the game, but our deck right now is slow and makes our hand strong. And it's good with those things. Okay, our choices here. This is a decent, it's an okay secret, an okay weapon, a pretty good minion. So these all help protect us, as the name would suggest. Judgment, this is a very good spell. This is a very mediocre spell. Actually may be pretty bad for us because a lot of our minions are things we want to play and either have a good battle cry like Ziliax or a good end of turn effect like Thorasan. A good battle cry like Siamat, or we want to leave alive like Thorasan and our 4 Grime Street Enforcers. So duel is mediocre, but equality is very good. If they have a bunch of big minions, it helps us take care of them. Shrink Ray does the same thing as equality, but also makes the attack 1. Shielded Minibot is okay. Clockwork Giant. So, 2 really good cards, 1 bad card. 1 pretty good card, 1 decent card, 1 bad card. 3 pretty okay cards. We don't really have we have a lot of minions. We have a couple of weapons. We don't really have any good spells to deal with really big things. So I'm going to take Judgment. Because we're fighting 8 different bosses here, 4 down, 4 to go. And they're all going to do different things. So, we can't just be really good at meeting one type of challenge. We want to be ready to beat every single boss. So there might be a card that we don't really need against one boss, but it's the only way to win against another with the deck that we have now. So we have to take that card if we want to increase our chance of winning overall. Okay, these are both great cards, but not for right now. This is something we can play on our first turn. This enemy is going to take a little while to beat. Its hero power is, yes, we start with extra mana. Whenever, after a minion attacks you, freeze it. So, and it has 40 health. So if we hit him in the face with this minion, it's going to be frozen, and it cannot hit him in the face the following turn. With that in mind, I want to play for the whatever is just going to help us build strength and keep it for a long time. I think right now, so I could hero power to fill my hand with stuff, but I think what makes more sense is to just get a strong board right now. So next turn, if these live, it'll be a 3-4 and a 3-3. Cool, he's just playing a 2-2 Morlock. That's easy to deal with. Now that we have a pretty strong board for this point in the game, we can start playing stuff, and we have our Grime Street Enforcer next turn if we want it, so we can fill our hand with stuff. We can clear this. Yep, I just want to control the board right now. We could hit him in the face, but if we clear this now, we'll have coins in our hand next turn. We could play Grime Street Enforcer on hero power. We could do other things, and if our opponent plays these coins, it's going to make our Stone Splinter Trog a little stronger. Okay, that's going to draw cards. Excellent. We get to Grime Street Enforcer into Grime Street Enforcer. So if we can control the board early on, then we can just spend energy, invest energy, because a 5-mana 4/4 is not strong if he has a big ol' spooky board. But if we have a little more control, then all of a sudden we can afford to play this, keep the board, and all of these are going to get super strong over the next couple turns. I'm not going to attack, because if we attack his face, we could deal up to 7 damage to him, which is nice, but I actually just want to keep maximum control of the board, and if they attack his face, they can't attack his minions. Okay. Now I'm feeling a little more confident. I'm ready to attack face, and I'm ready to start making our hand huge. The nice thing is, even if these die, we have 2 more in our deck, so the fight is pretty much ours unless he does something incredibly strong. Okay, he's killed one of them, but Avenge is going to give another minion a huge buff. So, we've got an interesting choice now, which is the same as always. What do we want to do? We could start hitting face and just apply direct pressure to kill him, or we could just try and keep control on the board. Or we could do a little of both. So if we play Ziliax here, he can attack this minion without getting frozen. Then we can yeah, let's just start putting threat on the board. So 22 damage means that we're not going to be able to kill him next turn, but we can start making threat. It's a shame. He was going to kill our 8/7 because it attacked. But he has a limited amount of resources to kill our cards. And the more we make him use, the better position we're in long term. I think we're going to play this, fill our hand, and I think we're just going to keep hitting him in the face. I would like to destroy that. I'm not using my weapon right now. And we actually don't get frozen if we attack him. I'm a fool. I attacked the minion. I could have totally killed him this turn. We're going to in-turn and stew in our shame, because we forgot to do basic math. Ooh, Murabi. When another minion is frozen, add a copy of it to your hand. Would you like a copy of Silverhand Recruit? There you go. Enjoy. Alright. Another victory. 5 out of 8 down. And we're going to go ahead and pick our second. Thank you. Our second treasure. So, just like Crystal Gem, this is something that's going to be permanently in effect. So this start of the fact, it summons 3 pretty good minions. I mean, start of the combat. It doesn't do anything after that, but it makes you safe to keep playing your strong stuff later. And, you know, the same way we've played strong stuff early to get our big cards out later, like the Grime Street Enforcers, this could be really good. Book of Wonders, it's a meme. It's a dream. It shuffles 10 Scrolls of Wonder into your deck, and what a Scroll of Wonder does is when you draw it, it casts a random spell and draws another card. Spells are on average going to be more good for you than they are for your opponent, but it's a huge roll of the dice. Rocket Backpacks, your minions have Rush, so when we play something it can attack immediately. I think this is going to be the best option because we actually do have a decent ability to fill the board with small stuff early, even if it's just with our hero power. Whereas this lets us really take control of the board later in the game, because we're trying to have some control early, but the main goal is so that we can start filling our hand with huge cards and kill them with that. But here's the thing, it takes us a while to do that. And there is the possibility that we have a handful of huge minions, but we've lost all our health and they have big minions on the board, and we can play big stuff this turn, but it's too late. This lets us play our big stuff, immediately kill their stuff, and it just lets our big minions take control of the board one turn earlier. Oh, I got 2 copies of Shirvala. What did I do to deserve this? Let's check our spell mana right now. So this costs 7, this costs 7, 6, so 14, 20, 25, 29, 35, 37, and 39. So now we actually do have enough spells that we could pretty reasonably expect to play Shirvala later on. So that's something worth thinking about. This lets us summon a bunch of silver hands, but we can already do that with our hero power, and I don't think we need to be better at it, because generating 3 cards for 2 mana is already pretty good. Tyrion is great, but there's a Tyrion here too. So Ragnaros lets us heal for a bunch. Zandalari is good if we've already healed, but I don't know if we will. Tyrion is just a good card. Medivh is not that great, but it's an okay weapon. So all of this is stuff that we play pretty late in the game. I think, frankly, it's kind of a toss-up, but I like Tyrion better than Ragnaros, and both of these are meh, so we're going to go with Legends again. So our deck is has a lot of pretty expensive stuff. Seems like a good plan. Hi, Sparum Toglago. Now we're going to visit Bob, and we'll see what happens. So we do have that copy of Shirvala, where as soon as we can cast enough spells, that minion is very useful. And until we cast a bunch of spells, that minion is very useless. Ragnaros is too soon salute. Friendly encounter. Okay, these are minions we like. Sathravar. Too slow. These could heal us. This could destroy an enemy minion with taunt. So we could add all of these minions to our deck with a buff. I don't think they're better than the cards that are already in our deck. We could fire all of our minions. These are some of our favorite minions. So we have 2 mana. We can tell a story, which is good. We can recruit a veteran, which might be good, and we can add 3 new copies of an existing card into our deck. I think we want to give +2/+2. We could give it to Ziliax because with Divine Shield you can use it twice, or we could give it to Paragon of Light because with +2/+2 its effect is always active, so it starts as a 4/6. It's pretty good. I think what I'd like to do is give +2/+2 to Ziliax. And the right thing to do would be add 3 new Ziliaxes. By the way, if we add the Ziliax, only this one is +2/+2, the others are normal stats. The right thing to do is add 3 more copies of Ziliax. The thing I want to do is this, but frankly, 4 Grime Street Enforcers in a 30-card deck is a lot of Grime Street Enforcer. We're usually going to be able to play one when we want to play one, so I think I'm actually going to do the logical thing here and just add Ziliax. And a 5 mana for a card with 3 attack and 2 health seems like a really bad idea. And when I first saw Ziliax, you know, a lot of people had the same reaction. It just didn't seem like a very good card. But most of us pretty quickly found that Ziliax does a lot for you. Having lifesteal means it can keep you from dying. Taunt and Divine Shield does the same thing. Magnetic means your existing mechs can get better. Okay. Ziliax is good. It's got a lot of keywords. Okay, this thing, this enemy, every turn he's going to add a really powerful card into his deck. So the longer the fight goes, the stronger he's going to get. So this is a card that would help us really protect ourselves early on. I'm not worried about that. This is too slow. Emperor Tharasan is interesting, but I would rather draw that later on than start with it. I don't think it's one of a core card we have to hold on to. Okay, drawing Shrivala really sucks because we don't have 25 mana, and we never will. So all we can do is either summon 2 1/1s or fill our hand with stuff. Next turn, I don't think he's going to do much.
Wait, you can't just take him.
Oh yeah, we're trying to raid the city and steal all these treasures that he wants. So he added 3 pretty strong cards into his deck. We are just going to do whatever we can. 1 mana of spells. That's right, since our minions all have rush, we are able to control the board a lot faster. Do we want to give him 2 coins right now? And since there's nothing we really want to play with the 2 coins, I think the answer is... not yet. I'm not going to use those 2 coins. They'll be there later. Okay, Sap spent 2 mana to bounce this back to our hand, but I'm happy just playing 2 mana to play it again. He's got 6 cards that are 6 treasures in his deck. Okay, that's really good, because Shadow Step is a powerful card, and he has completely wasted it on this thing that does nothing for him. Okay, we can play Stone Splinter's Trog, which is going to get stronger every time he plays a spell. And now we can give him spells to play, so that our Stone Splinter's Trog will get stronger. And we could put out 2 more 1/1s and start threatening damage to his face, but with 53 health, I just don't think we're going to be able to put out a legitimate threat that way. I'd like to save these coins to play a big card earlier than we'd normally be able to. Okay, so he's drawing a card, and since he's shuffling really good cards into his deck, he can draw good things. Okay, he has killed our Stone Splinter Trog, but he used both coins, 2 shivs, and a Blood Mage Thalanos to do it. He used a lot of stuff to do that. We would prefer if our stuff lived. Okay, this is just going to be a completely hero power based turn. That's all we really want to do. So that draws him a card.
I don't know where I got this.
And we really want to hit one of our Grime Street Enforcers soon. Okay, Party Portal is going to let him summon a bunch of small minions. We really want to take care of that. And he's adding another to his deck. Yeah, I'm worried about this fight. Our deck might be too slow to reasonably deal with this. This seems like a good turn for equality. It helps kill that Party Portal. So this costs 9. With coins, we could get to 8. I'd really like to weapon and equality, but we can't. If we played 3 of these and this, that would be 3 attack, 5 attack, 7 attack. That would not kill that. I think it is important to kill that thing before he starts to fill his board with spooky stuff.
Reporting for duty. For battle. Reporting for duty. For battle.
And we could coin hero power, but we could do that later too. So unfortunately, our deck is... we're not drawing the Grime Street Enforcers, and I'm starting to realize our deck is entirely based around Grime Street Enforcer, and we don't have any other good cards, which is a little rough. But we're just going to keep hoping that we draw one. Okay, we're going to do the best we can, which is just fill our hand with stuff. We're going to coin and play one of them, just to get 8 cards in our hand so that we don't lose our next draw. We could kill this, and I think we want to, because when this mad scientist dies, it puts a secret from our deck into the battlefield. And one important thing that does is it takes a card out of our deck so that we don't draw a 1-mana card when we're really looking for a Grand Street Enforcer right now. Please, please help. Okay, bouncing Ziliax back to our hand lets us get Divine Shield back on it. I am scared. Scared of this fight. Tyrian Fordring is just a big, strong card, and we like it. And we're just going to play it. I'm just not sure how we're going to deal 47 damage. Okay, we did get one. We lost to Ziliax, and we're going to lose another card. That's unfortunate. Hopefully we burn like a secret or something. I should have remembered that he has the Cold Light Oracles. Okay, burned an expensive spell, and I'm fine with that. We're going to clear that. And it's going to buff our Ziliax, which is really great. Okay, we have 9 cards in our hand. I think I would like to just get a bunch of buffs out, coin, play one more. We're not going to do damage to face this turn, or are we? I think we're going to do damage to face, and this is going to seem a little weird, because if this attacks into this, we just wasted all those 1/1s. But the thing I'm worried about right now is that he plays a card that kills our whole board at once. So, like the Candle, which deals 4 damage to all my minions. And if this doesn't attack, I can also clear it with 1/1s. So, that play was a little ambitious, but it ended up working out. I'm going to play this Feraki Battle Axe. It's going to just let us buff cards in our hand a little more strongly. Going to take 5 damage to face. Okay. 8 cards in our hand. We want to play something strong. Lifesteal is nice. And we're going to have a bunch of weapons soon, because we need to get rid of this so Tyrian can be active. So I think we're going to play a bunch of 2/2s instead of scaling them up into big ones, so our big cards are going to scale into big things. Oops, didn't mean to even attempt to play that. And we'll go back to 9 cards in our hand. We will play a... We could deal 10 damage to face, or we could take out this party portal. This time, I think we actually just need to start racing, because if this fight goes too long, we are in deep, deep trouble. Deep, deep trouble. And right now we have, yeah, okay, a lot of stuff. So that's going to kill our Tyrian, but it's going to deal 6 to face. It's going to get rid of our weapon, but Avenge is going to buff another one of our cards. Alright, he's going to take another 7 to face. Is he going to keep doing it? Okay, this is both very dangerous to us, because our whole board is gone, and very good for us, because he's at 12 health. So we can attack his face for 5 then for the next 3 turns, and as long as he doesn't get a taunt minion, we win the fight. So I think that seems like a good idea to go ahead and do right away. We can play our own taunt minion. And I'd like to kill the party portal, because I think that's the thing most likely to get him a taunt minion. And as long as he doesn't get taunt, we can kill him with our weapon. So we're just going to go for murder right this moment. These cards can attack his minions, but not his face, so we're going to do it like this. We are going to let him draw an extra card, because I think he's just going to do this anyway. Let's just take out that one. Alright. So I think I played this pretty well. Oh my god. Okay. So he's going to draw a lot of strong cards. And he's going to play a lot of strong cards. Yep, that is a strong card. But, oh no, okay, that is a big danger. So now his deck is empty, and he's just going to keep filling it with really good stuff. Yeah. But, he's going to take 1 damage from that. So we have to kill that and stay alive. Okay, we can deal 5 damage to it. If we could do now, but that freezes us. We deal 9 damage to it with this. But I don't think we want to do that yet. Because we want to attack with this weapon. I think we have to get frozen. And if that's what we're doing, we just want to play out these cards, which one nice thing is they will not get frozen by this. And I think we just want to play these. I don't know if we want to trade here, but I'm going to, because right now that's the only taunt minion. That's the thing we have to kill if we want to win. Okay, so he's going to shuffle treasures into his deck. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness, I'm a fool! He has minions on the board that draw him cards when they take damage. So that actually did a little extra hit to him. And so he's playing Golden Kobold, so he's got a lot of taunts. But things are not over. Okay. This is very good for us. Siamat is going to be able to deal with 2 of those minions and survive afterwards. 38 health is going to be enough that it's very difficult for him to kill us next turn. Mogor the Ogre is actually going to be a threat to us, because we may not be able to attack the enemy we want. But the good news is... What? Oh, is our game frozen? Our game is frozen, okay. I was like, why is it not activating the battle cry? What is happening? Please reconnect to the game. I want to reconnect to the game. Game is fun. I think.
I ain't found a good treasure in years.
I ain't found a good treasure in years neither. Just kidding. I've found friends, and friends are the greatest treasure of all. Please reconnect me to the game. I guess this is a good time to talk about what I've been trying to do this fight. So, if you think about our strength relative to the opponent, picture like we've got a line, and you know, each turn we get more and more mana, we can play stronger and stronger cards, so ideally the line if the line represents like how powerful we are over time, the line starts pretty small, because with 2 energy, we're probably not a big threat. 2 mana, whatever. Oh, please reconnect me to the game. What if I unplug and replug my Ethernet? Yep, okay. That'll save my game. I can relaunch Hearthstone. And that's something at least. So you get to hear me chat for a bit. I am still recording. There's just no Hearthstone to record. So, so our power is a line, right? We want the line to go up as we get stronger, and eventually it's probably going to reach its highest point, and at some point, if we've followed it long enough, once we've drawn and played every single card in our deck, we're out of cards, there's nothing left. If we can play, the line goes back down to 0, right? So the goal is we want to do whatever we can to get strong enough to kill the enemy. So get that line to a high enough point and kill it. And the thing is, some decks, they really peak early. They really get big very soon in the game, and they're very strong that way. Hearthstone, are you sick? Are you okay? Is there something going on? Do you need to talk, buddy? Anyway, so some decks, if we just filled our deck with minions that cost 1 mana, our first few turns would be super strong. We would just play a bunch of minions every turn, have a bunch of stats on the board, lines spike up real big, real fast. But what happens next is, pretty soon, we can play more than 1 card per turn, but we're only drawing 1 card per turn, and we just run out of cards to play. And pretty quick, that line goes down to 0, right? So, if we're not able to kill our opponent very quickly, we're going to lose. And most of the time, 1 cost minions are not going to be strong enough to finish off your opponent. They might do a bunch of damage, maybe like 15 damage, but 15 damage is not usually enough to win the game. In a normal game, you need 30 damage, and in some of the, unless they have healing or block, and in some of these fights, the enemies start with like 60 health. Hearthstone. So, we want to make that line, make that curve, just reach its strongest point. So, with this deck we were just playing, and I would love to play again. Come on, Hearthstone. Oh, relaunch Hearthstone. Okay, update ready for the Battle.net app. Restart now. I guess we're going to restart Battle.net app, and I guess I'll just keep explaining my theory while this hopefully loads. Since, good thing I've got something to talk about while this happens. So, we just want to reach our strongest point, and so we want to pick cards that help us reach that strong point before our opponent reaches theirs and kills us. So if we have a deck that's really strong early on, the line goes up quickly and dips off later, and we know our opponent starts slow but gets way bigger than we are later, we know our goal is to end the game early before we get to that. So let's say we have a few minions on board, they have a couple minions, we might say, forget about their minions, we're attacking their face because we have to end the game. Whereas if we were in their place, we'd say, no need to hit their face, we just need to kill their minions, because if we can survive long enough, we win by default, because we get stronger and they get weaker. Hearthstone, please let me play. I'm trying to record a YouTube video here. So, that fight, fighting against Old Toomba, the Treasures, the way I was thinking about it was, our deck is very slow, but gets pretty strong early on. His deck is also slow, but gets so strong that we can't possibly deal with it. So the way I wanted to play that game is, I felt like there was one very specific period of time where if we got the right cards, we could get strong enough to kill him maybe a couple turns before he got so strong he was unstoppable. So the first couple turns I just wanted to control the board, and then that turn where I said we just want to start doing 10 damage to his face, that's where I said this is as strong as we are going to get, and we need to end the game now. So I don't know if I was right in my analysis of when the right time was, but when you're playing a game like Hearthstone, it's worth thinking about. You know, what can I do? What can my opponent do? Who wins right now? Because if you play a deck that is really good early on and really weak later on, and you play the first few turns just really safe, I don't know what is happening right now. Is Hearthstone down? Or is this just me? Is Hearthstone down? Search downdetector.com. It looks like there has been a spike of reports right now. Hearthstone may be having problems as we speak. There seem to be 18 other reports of issues in the last like 20 minutes. So we're going to make another couple attempts. Going to finish explaining our curve thing, and we may end this run a little earlier than we expected. It would be a shame, but it would be how this goes. Sometimes. There's a good chance we may not have been able to win that fight, and it may have been the end of the run anyway, but golly, I would have liked to find out, don't you think? So, we are fighting old Toomba. I'm gonna say we may have lost. Although, if the game is this sick, it may just end the fight without us ever being able to reconnect to it. I don't know if it'll say we lost because we left and didn't come back, or if it'll say we get to fight again because it's the game's fault. We'll see how these things go. But at least I've gotten to explain the strategy of what I was trying to do there. So I don't think our deck was incredibly strong. I think it was pretty good at one thing, but as we realized in that Toomba fight, the only thing that let our deck really scale into the late game was Grime Street Enforcer. Normally, and to a lesser extent, Emperor Thaurissan, which reduced the cost of cards in our hand. If you're going to play a deck that buffs cards in your hand, you want to have... There are more cards than just Grime Street Enforcer that buff your hand. Some of them activate a little sooner, some of them activate a little later and are a little stronger. And if you want to build an entire deck relying around one effect, you want to be really good at that effect. And the problem is, that deck was pretty good at that effect, but we didn't get offered the cards that would make us very good at it, and I didn't feel like we got offered cards that would make us very good at something else. We could have chosen just a bunch of Ziliaxes to be, you know, not amazing at anything, but just really good at doing whatever we need to do on any given turn. And I think I'm going to go ahead and say that Hearthstone is sick right now, and we're not going to be able to play. The last attempt I'm going to make is to see if I can log in on my phone. I could just hold the phone right next to the microphone. Maybe you'll get some game audio. But this reconnecting button is not inspiring. Oh, what an interesting way to end my very first attempt at a Hearthstone Let's Play for YouTube. But it's been a real pleasure. I hope you enjoyed watching me play this Hearthstone solo adventure. If you do, please leave a comment, and I would be delighted to make another one of these, maybe finish this run, or maybe try a new run, try something completely different. I'm very open to suggestions. It's, you know, I like making things if people like watching them, and if there's something you want to see, please let me know. Phone, are you going to load Hearthstone at all? No, you know, sometimes we should just accept the things we can't change. And clearly, I cannot change that I am not currently allowed to play Hearthstone. So I'm going to say thank you so much, YouTube. Have a great night, and see you in the next video. Hello, YouTube, and welcome back. I realized I could solve this problem with the magic of video editing. So it is now the following day. I'm going to go ahead and hop back in, see if that fight has let us return to it, and yes, it has. So we can go ahead and take another shot at this fight. So everything I talked about for me yesterday, but for you not long ago, still applies. I have a different snack today. We just... Ooh, that's hot. I like food. Food is good. Okay. So, Emperor Thaurissan could be a good card to keep later on. I don't think this Battle Axe is worth keeping. I don't think the Secret is really worth saving. But Thaurissan, debatable. But I think that might be one of our few cards that really help us spike in power. Because both me and Toomba are weak early on. We're just trying to get strong a little sooner. So, we've got some nice plays for our first couple turns. Get the one with the death rattle out first. Use Rush to do some damage to that. Alright, a 2-mana 1/1 is certainly not an immediate threat. Let's see. Eye for an Eye would help us do more face damage. Divine Shield would help us protect our board. But we know he's going to cast spells, so let's give our minions some health. And then we'll just start to chip away at that face a little bit. I think if we can slowly do that. Okay. So 1 mana.
Ha! Lots of
2
good
health.
things coming my way.
Not the best secret we have ever had. Ooh, that Gloves of Mugging is nasty if he gets it. So we'll have to watch out for that. But we'll fill our hand with stuff. We will really hope to draw one of our big special things soon. I think next turn... I guess this turn we could have played the Emperor Thorsan, but we wouldn't have had anything to trigger it on. We might consider doing so next turn. But I don't think we want to activate the coins for Toomba yet. Okay, yes.
I remember
Now it's Thorsan time. Never mind. We have other priorities. I think Grime Street Enforcer is just... This lets us play a lot of stuff quickly, but this makes it strong. And I'd rather play strong stuff eventually than weak stuff quickly. I'm just going to trade like this and push into the face. I think last game, you know, these connection issues kind of gave us a bit of a boon. Ah, dang it. I forgot he does have ways to take that out. I should not have traded that 2 health away. Well, you live, you burn. Let's get a big Thorsan turn going. I still don't think we want those coins. There's nothing we really want to do with them, and our hand is full.
I don't know where I got
Alright, yeah. If we could clear that party portal, that would be quite nice.
Tracking this one down will be fun.
Okay. Let's figure out how we want to do this. These 0 costs can get out of here for now. Onto the field, and one of those into the 4-2 seems like a pretty decent plan.
Isn't this one cursed?
We can cause him to burn a card, which might be a pretty good thing to do. And we can get ourselves a weapon that'll summon a random minion when we play a spell. So if we can use it on a... Well, this will be a 4-cost spell, but a random 4-cost minion is no joke. Medivh always wins. Okay, our rush minions will clear the party portal, and the rest will hit face. Our weapon will wait, because we want to use those charges to summon minions. You know what? I could have used the coin to fill his hand and make him burn a card. Oh, shit. That is a little unfortunate. So we lost our Medivh, but we get to play our Thorsan again. And we're going to do it. Let's see. Let's do the one that adds a new card to our hand. Never surrender is fine. Do we want that? I think this could be a decent way to... I think we're only going to cast the one really good spell, and I'm fine just putting out a medium strength board. If we can be doing 10 damage a turn for a couple turns until he runs out of ways to stop us, we'll get there. Okay. That's pretty good. Because it doesn't really do anything to stop us from doing what we want. Tyrion here can clear that. We can make that bigger if the card would like to play anytime soon. There we go, thank you. Sim Snap is a pretty good card. We could trade here, but I'd like to hit him in the face a lot. We could trade like this, because Snip Snap is going to summon 2 things when it dies, so we'll make space for that. Since everything has Rush, we can do that. And let's see, 10, 19, 20. Yeah, I think this is good enough. The debate is always, would playing more cards help us kill him more effectively next turn? Or would it just make us more vulnerable to a big board clear? But that's it. That's the match. It was a lot easier the second time. That first time I was getting a little worried. It really helped to keep that Thoros in, I think. Victory. Yeah, we'll see if we can get some good cards for the last, I think, 2 fights. Okay. Wow. We could get a lot of Shirvallas. None of these are really the cards we want to have. Benevolent Djinn is fine. Nazari is good if we're trying to play slow. And Ivory Knight is a pretty good card, actually. Another 7-cost spell might help with her Shirvala, but I don't think it's good enough. Another weapon, but it's an okay weapon. We have a lot of healing in our deck already. I think Discover a Spell is better than the other stuff, though. 38 card deck, challenge 7 out of 8. Okay, so this fella is interesting because as his hero power suggests, he can only take 3 damage at once, so making a bunch of really big minions is not going to do anything for us. We're going to have to hit him a lot of times. So it's to our advantage to start slowly. Indeed. Just start slowly chipping away at him over the course of the fight instead of just other ones. We might try and build up a bunch of big hits, but that won't work here. However, nothing. I was thinking of a different boss. Alright. See what we can handle here. We can take care of that.
Reporting for duty. Reporting for duty. To battle. To battle.
To battle. To battle.
To battle.
And we'll go ahead and get our 3-mana 3/3 with a rush out there. That's pretty good for us. That is a valuable weapon, and he has used it on something that is not very valuable. Since we have Grime Street Enforcer next turn, let's fill our hand with stuff. And do we want to play it? Yes, I think we still do. Do we want coins? I don't think so. Because I think we want those coins next turn, but we don't want to give them to him right now, because then he might use them to make a more threatening board that we have to deal with. Okay. Draws lots of cards. This seems like a good turn for us to start doing this. Here we go. And we could coin hero power, but that would fill our hand. And I think what I'd like to do instead is just protect our Grime Street Enforcer. Keep it at 4 health instead of 2, because we did kind of suffer. That is a card I really wish that we had. You can see Battlecry, give all minions in your hand +2/+2. That is the sort of card we have been looking for and unfortunately have not found this whole time. Okay. Could double call to adventure. Could Ziliax. I think I'd like to Ziliax. But that doesn't really... because that protects our Grime Street Enforcer for another turn. Ooh, here's an even better Ziliax. Because this one actually doesn't die to the 3/4. And I think we would like to push a little bit of damage to face. Yes, it's lovely armor. So, it's only a 3/3 buff this turn, but it stays alive. Okay, Kel'Thuzad is a big threat. But, it's only resummoning one thing, we ought to be able to deal with it. So Kel'Thuzad, at the end of each turn, summon all friendly minions that died this turn. As you can tell, that's pretty strong, because it just can keep summoning the same minions over and over, so we have to take that out for sure. And I think what we're going to do is we're just going to make a big Ziliax? Or do we want two smaller Ziliaxes? One big Ziliax kills it with the Divine Shield. So the Ziliax into Ziliax, a powerful technique. We will add these Silverhand recruits. And at this point, 10 attack, I would like to protect it. But we're going to have to hit it so many times to kill him. And I think we just need to keep working on that. Because we have to hit him 21 more times. Okay, that's unfortunate. If we had traded that, we wouldn't have been able to do that. But, you know. You live, you learn, and the Grime Street Enforcer lives. Nozari is a completely dead card this match, because if we heal him to full health, we have to do it. Honestly, I think probably the best way to deal with this guy is not to hit him 21 more times, but actually just to survive until he runs out of cards, which is going to be a long time, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Let's play this. Divine Shield minions are really good when they're buffed. What is that secret? Maybe eye for an eye? Eye for an eye. Yep, well.
My armor can even deal damage.
I'll admit, he has a really great shirt. Oh hey, your Tyrion forward ring is looking a little small. Is it okay? What happened? Alright, now we can get that double Grime Street Enforcer going. We're not going to play 3 at once. You know, I probably should have played the big one. But what can I say? I'm a greedy creature. Let's play this. And this. And since we're just going to kill it to proc the Divine Shield, we're actually going to use a 1/1 and save the 3/3s for later. And that go away, and that get hit. Now he's got a 5/3, so he will presumably attack our 9/3, taking 3 damage, giving us a weapon, and using up one of those dangerous weapon charges. Oh hey, he has a Grime Street Enforcer. So he's kind of playing a very similar deck to us, but he may even have some better cards in it, but unfortunately, we have a better pilot for our deck. I would like to get that Thaurissan out. I was about to play that Purifier's Maul, but we already have a great weapon active. We'll trade there. Let's play the biggest ones. And we can play one more hero power. We will burn 1 card if we do that. I think I'd rather just draw 1. And we still have more cards, so we are not at much risk of running out of cards, and you never know. We seem to have pretty strong control of the board, so we may actually be able to get 15 more hits. If we can hit for, you know, these are at least 3 damage each. He's got the Nazari. Alright. Well, we can play our Nazari now if we want, just as a big minion. Huh, they're both 9/17. That's cute. Okay, well, in that case, there's good odds this may just end up being a fatigue match. It just goes as long as possible. I want to hang on to that Grime Street Enforcer, because 2 is plenty.
Can
So,
we wrap this up? I'm heading to Warsong Gulch after this.
I'm so sorry to mess up your evening plans. So I think we are going to hit it with this, because we have our own Nazari, so I'm not worried about running out of health. Play this. That takes care of that. We keep a full board. I think I will put out one lifesteal minion, because that Divine Shield Taunt lifesteal is going to use up his weapon charge on something that we don't really mind losing. I wasn't totally sure about that, because it's also really good to buff stats of this, so we can get more lifesteal, but we'll go ahead and get that buffed. Okay. Do we want to discover a secret? I think we'd just rather have this get buffed twice. You know, if he has a card that, if he has, let's say, a Quality Consecrate, which is a 2-card combo that would pretty much destroy our whole board, we'd rather have extra cards in hand. We've discussed this before. Yep. Okay, he's just going to keep healing, keep playing big buffed minions, but I don't think there's anything he can do to stop us from just continuing to hit him. Because every turn, for 5 mana, we can summon 3 3/3s with Rush, right? Because it goes like this. 1, 2, 3. And if we just press this button next turn, we get to do it again. Let's see, I'd like to just clear that here, because I'm not worried about our health. 9 cards in hand seems like a great number of cards in hand. But let's go ahead and give our minions Divine... you know what? We'll give our minions Divine Shield when we have something we want them to use Divine Shield for. If he has something that could clear our whole board, then, you know, we wouldn't want to waste that. Okay. He's just kind of playing cards. They aren't... This one isn't even buffed at all. So that's good for us. I think it's a good time to play this spell. Yeah. Destroy an enemy minion with taunt is not bad. Oh wait, it's a battle cry. So it would not do anything for us. Let's take a Scaled Nightmare. It's not going to do anything great right away. But 2 attack pops the Divine Shield, and it can maybe become a threat over time. Man, 16/16, that's tasty. And we'll grab one of these. Clear that without even dying. Would I rather hero power for 2 more things to buff, or draw my next card? I think I'd rather draw my next card. So let's just go ahead and play that to spend our mana. And 32 is now 30, so that's 10 hits for 3 damage. So that 2 damage was important. The next 2 damage wouldn't make any difference if you're only dealing 3 damage at once. And of course you can heal for 2 health, or 4 health actually. So it's kind of a moot point. Okay, we have 7 minions. That's actually kind of bad, because I want one of them to die so that I can just play rush minions over and over. I'll tell you what though. If we use our Divine Shield, there actually won't be any healing off of that. And we could clear his minion, but I think we want to just keep hitting. So that's 5 more hits. We can probably get that next turn. So it doesn't look like we have to go to fatigue damage after all. He is out of cards. We have played our hand better, and honestly our hero power was better than his. Because we're both playing hand buffs, but we could fill our hand with stuff to buff. Ha! Now its attack is doubled. So instead of 2 or 4, you can get hit for a whole 8 damage. Or, you know, 3. Yeah, maybe you should get better armor, buddy. It doesn't seem like it's affecting you enough. But that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. Pick our very last treasure. Give all minions in your deck +3/+3. Seems like it's very slow. And it's kind of something we already do very well. Or pretty well with our Grime Street Enforcers. don't get me wrong, I love the idea of doubling down on what we already do, but our Grime Street Enforcers can do this once they're in our hand without having to do it in our deck. And I think Orb of the Untold is really good. Swamp Queen's Call can be good if we fill our board with 1/1s and then just turn them all into legendary minions. But a lot of the times when we're filling our board, it's with stuff that has been buffed up. We like it. I don't know. Orb of the Untold is a good card, and it helps us do something we're not actually good at. Here is what I'm talking about. These are fine. These are fine. Good cards. High Priest the Call plus Nozari lets us get a ton of health, because this empties out our health bar and turns it into armor, and then we can fill it back up again. I like these Murlocs, but they're not... These are just really good cards for hand buffing. We'd like to have more of them, but it's time to fight Trade Prince Scallywix. Now here's something I'm really interested to find out. His power is, because we're robbing the bank, so we're fighting the Trade Prince every time. So his power is that the first card we play each turn, he gets a copy of it. So what I'm curious about is if we have buffed that card, does he get a buffed copy of it or a normal copy of it? That's something that interests me. So we want to think about, if we have Emperor Thaurissan, it's a really good card, but do we want to play that on turn 6 as our only card and give him a copy of it? Or do we want to try and wait later on, play one of our 1/1s first and give him something useless, and then play Thaurissan 1 turn later? And I think most of the time that's what we're going to want to do. For example, playing Orb of the Untold, giving him a copy of that is terrible. But giving him a Silverhand Recruit and then playing Orb of the Untold is really good. And another bonus is whenever we do this, we get coin. So we can actually get some pretty neat stuff for our money. So if we play this in Hero Power, our hand will be full of stuff. And I think that seems like a good thing to do right now. So 9 cards, which means we get to draw 1 more, and then it's full of stuff. Okay, so it could be Eye for an Eye, could be Never Surrender, could be any number of things. But it is not something that triggers when we attack his minion with our minion. Okay, that's a pretty strong card. As you may notice, he has started with more mana than us, which is painful. But I think it's just going to make sense to play that Orb of the Untold right away, so we will give him a Silverhand Recruit. We will play the coin we got for it, and then we will clear his board, hopefully. And that's going to give us 2 more coins, which is actually a little awkward. Oh my goodness. Okay. So we want to open up hand space, we want to leave that alive. So here's the interesting thing. These coins are going to be awesome. Oh wow, he's playing his coins. These coins are going to be awesome for just giving him a coin in exchange for getting a coin back, and not giving him any better cards. So that Trade Prince Scallywix is himself. It's kind of weird to play himself as a card, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. And now the question is, what do we want to do? Duel could be really good if we summon like a Shirvala or something, but a lot of our cards, if we summon a Grime Street Enforcer, we're kind of sad to see it die like that. So Duel, I just don't know if it's that good for us. I don't think we can get rid of that Gallywix, but when we play this coin, we're going to get 2 coins. So we can actually play some pretty big stuff this turn if we want. So we're up to 8 mana. I think this Grime Street Enforcer is probably not going to live very long, but I think it'll help make our hand strong enough that we can live some turns after that. So we are going to clear this. 6 cards, turn that into this. And I think I am Normally I save these coins to trigger his hero power, but with our hero power lets us fill our hand with stuff that can easily trigger his hero power. And every time we play a coin, his hand is full of coins right now. And we are just getting lots of mana. So this seems like a pretty good deal to me. If we do Hidden Wisdom, we will definitely draw 2 cards next turn when he plays all those coins, and I don't think we want that. So let's get our hands down to 9 cards. And no point in having that attack, because it just doesn't really do much. And we'll get those buffs. Okay, the good news is our Enforcer is damaged, so that card actually can't target us. So that was kind of nice for us. Oh, this is beautiful. Okay. Give him a copy of the worst one, and we'll find out soon whether this gives him a 2/2 or a 1/1. So, let's go ahead and just start filling our board with stuff. I would like to certainly take out that Trade Prince Gallywix and refill our hand with stuff to become 2/2s next turn. You can see here how Rush is just very strong. And we'll save that 2/2. I guess we could have used the weapon to protect one of our minions. I'll admit, I'm playing a little fast and loose, because I feel like we've actually got this fight pretty well in the bag. There was only one fight that ended up being a real threat to us this particular game, and luckily, we got a second try at it. So Siamat is going to be really good buffed, because all these keywords get even better when its stats get higher. And it already has Rush, so we can choose the other ones however we like. Okay, we can kill that. I think that seems like a good thing to do. I'm kind of interested in just seeing what Duel gets. I don't think it's the right play, but I'm curious. Ooh, good luck for us. And, okay, interesting. It has Rush from Rocket Backpacks, and apparently that does not count as attacking, so it can attack again. That's nice. Kind of a fun little tidbit. Well, let's go ahead and have that clear here, then. 7 cards. Do I want to burn a card just to have one extra thing? Don't think I do. I think I do want to control the board. I don't think 5 health means much to me. Play out the strongest one. Next turn we're going to draw probably 2 cards from him. So even though we get less buffs, we are still going to have a nice full hand. This boss can be really scary if your deck only has good cards in it, because then every turn you give him good cards. But our deck has a button we can press to give ourselves bad cards every turn. And then he mostly just has bad cards. Alright, what do we want to do here? As always, play this. It looks like he is getting them as 1/1s, which is what I thought would probably happen, but I wanted to make sure. So this fight is pretty much just sewn up in the bag beyond his ability to affect. Nevertheless, we're still going to try and play it with some degree of prudence. We end our turn with 9 cards getting buffed. And that seems pretty decent, right? 5 mana 4/4 sucks, but wow, didn't even kill the Grime Street Enforcer. Truly the worst deal in the history of Azeroth. Okay, I think we're just gonna keep doing this. The unfortunate thing is we're actually not going to be able to play them all because he's not playing anything to kill our friends. So we actually really want to get rid of these 1/1s so we can play bigger stuff. I think it's worth go ahead and doing this. We got a lot of expensive cards, and let's go ahead and make him cheap. Start really threatening some big damage to that face. If it dies, we've got a bunch of other good cards to replace it. Alright, the Grime Street Enforcer finally goes down. This doppelganger, by the way, is going to be amazing, because you can see it's going to summon not just one 7/7, but 3 of them. So, this time we'll go ahead and destroy that. Oh, I messed up. We're actually giving him a good spell. So that is my bad.
I've got the best deals anyway.
Yeah, so a bit of an oopsie doopsie. But we're gonna go ahead and carry on. And at the very least, when he summons a 7-cost minion with Taunt and Divine Shield, it will give us something for our huge fellas to attack. Let's discover a secret. I don't think this matters, but we'll do it anyway. And we've got pretty decent odds of being able to kill him next turn, and very high odds of being able to kill him the turn after that. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so whenever he plays a card, he's going to summon a bunch of little stuff. Unfortunately, that's a little too late. Okay, destroying our 9/9, so we are not likely to kill this turn. That's actually bad for us. We would have preferred for him to take 4 face damage, but keeping the Divine Shield is nice. Okay. I think we want to certainly do this. Let's go ahead and do this. Could have done it with the 5/5, I suppose. But I'd like all of these minions that were already on the board to attack this turn. So I'm just going to use my hero power to clear his board, or a good portion of it. Yeah, that seems like a pretty good deal for me. A lot of painful deaths among the Silverhand. We might not get another chance to play this, and it's pretty fun, so let's go ahead and get Divine Shield Wind Fury. So, this is going to slap them pretty good. Oh wait, I can't count. Sorry, Tiamat. You're not really going to get to shine this time around. But that's the fight. And I hope you've enjoyed this solo adventure run, this time with maybe a bit of a more appropriate ending than what I last night thought would be a sad time, but you today have discovered is actually a joyous occasion. So that is a successful heroic run of Act 1 with George. If you enjoyed this and would like to see me play more, please let me know. Any suggestions of what you want to see? I think I said that earlier on. So, take it easy. Catch you next time.